Went ahead and mixed down all four of those songs. Ended up taking me 4 hours. No needed extra time to mix them down. I started at like maybe 10:30 last night. Ended up finishing around 2:30 in the morning. The first song took the longest. It took me about an hour and a half, mainly because of the type of song it was. It had a melodic theme to it. And normally, what I do with melodic themes is I find the pitch. I use the pitch corrector. I might use Logic's own little system to like perfect the sound. But while I was listening to it, never did I once think I needed to do any of that. It wasn't that type of melodic sound to it. It didn't require any auto tune or anything like that. It was the longest song. I just wanted to make sure I did a good job from beginning to end. He gave me more volume to do what I do with that as well. So the more someone gives me within the song, I mean, you can give me a little, you give me 8 bars and I can stretch it out to a really long song somehow. Cut one of the bars out, repeat it, do some slicing and dicing. If you don't know what slicing and dicing is, it's a shame. If you don't know what that is, it's a shame. Okay, so the second song only took 45 minutes because it was a short song, and the third song was also a short song. And by then, I was already in a zone, with cleaning and cutting. Probably gonna end up doing a course. I don't know where I'm gonna price it at. Might not be like, $1,000 like I do in person. If you want me to teach you how to run a studio or how to do Logic 101, I've had about 21 students in the past 20 years. They decide to say, hey, I want to do this. I want to do what you do, Dice, or whatever. And I've offered it for the same price 20 years ago that I do now, which is crazy. It's always been $1,000. If you pay me $4,000, we'll literally go get all the equipment. That was fun with some of those clients that just was like, here goes 4 racks. Let's build a studio. And I just end up right there, just that same day, they had their own studio and we're recording. You know what I'm saying? We went out and got headphones and computers and wires and cords and all of that stuff. So if that does interest you, hey, let me know. I'm the man to do it. A lot of people don't want to just spend the money to do that. There are some people that just like, hey, I'm ready to get the ball rolling today. And you know what I'm saying? I'm the guy to call. For the most part, I taught them what to get, how to set it up, how to run the studio, you know. Hey, relax, man. Relax. No, 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 no. All right, that's not a toy, man. It's a toy. No, it's not a toy. Most of the people that ended up showing them, they could call me to this day. Like, I offer lifetime customer support. There's no better words than what I'm trying to say. I laugh about it. But I mean, to this day, I get calls. They might be like, "Hey, I ran into a problem with this. We figure it out." It'd be like really rare and unusual problems. You know what I'm saying? Logic, it's so funny. After using Logic for so many years, there's still things that surprise me. Like just this morning. That's not a toy, Sakai. Why would you throw? Okay, but it's not a toy. You don't throw this. It is. Yeah, the problem was really weird. My iPhone kept on connecting to Logic. Like it would just automatically connect. Like, all right, you can use your microphone. I guess that's something new. So I ended up trying to like figure out how to like try to stop it. You know what I'm saying? From it connecting. I still haven't resolved the issue, but I just ended up closing out Logic and it stopped connecting. But anyways, just little simple shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Logic's always trying to update and update. Fun fact about Logic, I've been using Logic since 2002 or 3, one of the two. I was using Logic when it was on PC. I think it was strictly on PC, if I'm not mistaken. And then Apple, being Apple, they bought Logic outright. So I was using PC and then switched over to Apple and never really looked back. Has changed over the years, but it's also mainly been the same. You get a lot of people that buy so many different types of plugins. I don't use plugins. I rarely do. There is one plugin that I use. It's called Crafter. Pretty dope. Check it out. I don't have an affiliate link or anything. I just wanted to try it and I still use it. All right, that's not a toy, baby. All right, sit down. Sit down. Okay, okay, sit down. All right, thank you. My kid is watching Number Blocks. If you don't know anything about Number Blocks, it literally teaches you math in a fun way with songs and shit. My daughter is a straight A student. She learned math through Number Blocks. I had a little hand in it. And then she reads she's read more books than I ever had in my lifetime. Just last summer, she read like 33 books. I didn't excel in reading. I watched a lot of TV growing up, but I mean that's all I did was watch TV, movies, cartoon series. And then as an adult, I've spent over probably working on 30,000 hours in the studio. I mean, I built this little man cave of mine. I'm constantly in this thing as well. So it's all I do all day, every day, even with my son who is growing up so fast. And eventually, when he starts going to school, then I'll have more time to really execute. The first 3 years, yeah, it was a problem. I really had to look out for him. I still do. I gotta run after him a lot. It's not as bad. He's starting to get it. When both of my kids start going to school, because I got one in school right now. He's still here during the day while my other one is in school, right? I ain't gonna say I'm limited because I really can do whatever I really want to do. But, I have to balance it. I have to find that balance and make sure that he is taken care of, make sure that he eats. Like he comes first. If he's hungry or if he's hey, sit down. Sit down. That has wheels. Yeah, it has wheels. Wheels. Like I said, once he starts going to school, and then I have that time from 8 o'clock in the morning to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I mean, that's like at least 7 hours for me to maximize what I'm doing, whether it's client work or really what I'm really looking forward to, the stuff that I plan on doing. And it is difficult. I just made a video that I'm working on. I just wrote a script for it. I talk about maximizing my talents. I've been able to master not just one field, but because it takes about 10,000 hours to master something, right? I've been able to master rapping for sure. I've been able to master beat making. I can't say that I mastered graphic artwork. I'm glad I didn't because AI is so dope these days. I feel bad for the people that spent so much time. Like I almost did. I almost was that dude who was going to be trying to be such a graphical type of artist with, I don't know, paintings. And, I remember buying stuff to like try to paint certain stuff or digitally, Photoshop. And I just never ended up. Now, I did spend a lot of time mastering After Effects. Oh, and I've definitely mastered times 2 engineering. I know I'm going left and right. Yes, ma'am. I gotta go. All right. So it just got me thinking, what am I mostly known for? That's kind of a tricky question only because I worked with about 1,900 different artists since 2000, whether it was from video production or anything like that. I need to plug this up now. All right. So that's kind of a tricky because I worked with a lot of people and I said 85% of it was just studio time, right? But a lot of them, more than 20% of them also did a music video with me. I mean, it came naturally. Hey, you was coming over here to do your music while we shoot a music video. At the same time, it just made sense. When you buy a package, you can use it for studio time or you can use it for music video production. And the more hours that you ended up getting, the less per hour. So boys was using that to shoot music videos, right? But anyways, and I got a whole nother topic about pricing, studio time and everything. I noticed that I work differently from the local scene or whatnot, which is probably why certain individuals probably chose not to work with me because of how I priced it. They could get Okay, I'm not even gonna go into it. I be going everywhere. I don't know why I do that shit. But like I said, it's kind of tricky to know what I'm mostly known for, only because with one music video, it surpasses anything and everything that I've ever done. They might see the name Slice and Dice in somebody else's music video and just figure, hey, he either made the beat or he, shot the music video. So it's kind of hard to like really know what I'm really known for. If people like were to dive in, they would know like, oh, he does everything. He's a one-stop shop. I really just wanted to tap in back to finish that thought out. When it comes to pricing, everybody tries to figure out where they are when they're trying to start their journey, right? And sometimes they would ask me like, hey, how much should I charge? And I'm always be like, hey, that's really, what do you feel like you're worth? And depending on the location and everything, because some of my people that taking the course have, moved away to bigger cities, so they can charge more. Being in Killeen has been challenging, trying to a certain type of client or whatnot. Only the dope boys are able to pay the $50 an hour. And my 9 to 5ers, it was very difficult to keep up with them. So they had to really, try to maximize what they could do in the studio. It was different vibes. The first thing that I'm normally asking, I mean, you can ask the clientele, like 90% of the time it's, hey, what's up, what's good? Let me get the beat. I'm already proactive, like, hey, let's start this session. I just need to get the beat. I load it up. And then if you've never been to my sessions, I do this thing called beat map. And beat mapping is basically where I start. That's my bread and butter. Without beat mapping, I would have never been called Slice and Dice. I would still probably be called Paradise. If you don't know, that was my old name before I turned into Slice and Dice. It was more like a paradise. When I was a teenager, I just always wanted to go to Las Vegas and live that lifestyle and gambling and win big. And you know what I'm saying? Just, I didn't know. Like, I lived in a small town, small city, so I didn't know what that lifestyle could be like. So I was just always infatuated with that. That's how I got the name Dice. That was like my thing, right? Gambling, I guess. And it's funny because my father wasn't really a gambling type of person. Like he was the opposite of his father. You know what I'm saying? Like my grandfather, I don't even call him my grandfather. I met him once, you know what I'm saying? He's not really a grandfather to me. But from the stories that were told, he was also a gambling type. I'm getting a little off subject, but I'm just thought it was interesting. Anyways, once I've had my child, my firstborn, like that's when I completely stopped. Like I just stopped gambling. And I wasn't doing like ordinary gambling because there's no Las Vegas where I'm from. The type of gambling that I was mostly doing was sports betting and parlays and pick threes. I actually won more money than I lost with pick threes. I had like this little system. It was, if you want to know the system real quick, I would spend about $75 to win 500. And I'll make sure each and every one of my numbers, I made sure that the sum of my numbers would either equal to 11, 12, 13, or 14. So it could be 931 or 139 or 543. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the 543. I just would win every time. Like, I ain't gonna say every time, but a lot of times I would win $500, $500. I ended up one year winning like 7 times. Paid rent. You know what I'm saying? Every time, like, oh, rent paid. Shit.